welcome, welcome to another EBX discussion. And if you are alive and breathing, we are back, soldiers and soldierettes, to fight another day. So keep your head up out there. Keep doing things to, strengthen our spirit, because it's a lot of things that's coming at us. We try to enjoy life, and can't be too rigid and too serious, but we be focused at the same time. And I always got to be grateful and thankful that those of us that are here and righteous, really righteous within, and ain't taking no crap, be thankful for that we have brothers and sisters out here like that. And I give honor to our ancestors and those in our families that we held dear. May they rest, if they transition, may they rest in peace and in power. And may all of our families prosper, and everything we touch turn to gold. And I welcome those and thank those that's been following along on this journey. And the more I study and the more I walk on this righteous path, brothers and sisters, and the more I get serious with that great divine, with life, period, things really become clear. And I'm sure a lot of you are experiencing this. We got a lot of, like I said, a lot of real like-minded soldiers and soldierettes out here. Salute. And I'm going to call down that protection. You hear me do this from time to time. I call down that protection from our great divine, that universe, for ourselves, from ourselves, so we don't become our own worst enemy, because that's the worst thing we can do to oneself. Just take a look around. Just look abroad. Because when you are a strong brother or sister, spiritually, mentally, and you ain't playing no games, you ain't taking no shit when it comes to protecting oneself. So, because when we are good with oneself, we strong within oneself, we can protect those that we are connected to, because we are always connected to those that we care about, especially if we're empathic. So, to keep ourselves in this spiritual state and not get drawn into the web, so to speak, that we see so many others, and it don't matter, high places, low places, don't matter. Once we become unbothered and we deflect and ignore the evil entities of the world, they will begin to implode. I'm going to say that again. When we ignore the evil entities, the evil entities tactics that they do in this social media, in the world, etc., etc. A lot of us see it. And some of it has to do with celebs, because remember, we are all observers as well as oneself. And that's something I've learned on this walk. And I actually made this prediction a few podcasts back when I said the evil entities' time is up. And it's been up, but it's becoming more clear. And again, when you ignore an evil entity, no matter what space they're in, what level, what status, they will begin to implode, because you can only lie for so long. Eventually, every evil thing that you have been putting out or putting up over the years is eventually gonna come down. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So, brothers and sisters that's reaching and teaching out here, salute, that's unapologetic on this walk. Don't let the outside entities, which I know a lot of us already know this. I mean, so many of us that's powerful, but I'm just going to add to that power. And, like I said, it's an honor to be that caboose, because one knows one's position. Not that I'm lowering oneself. It's just when you know your position and you just play your part that divine gives you, everything will fall into place. You don't push, but you don't give up. And stick with our brothers and sisters, not follow. We stand with one another. We got to change. I want to change that whole dynamic, that whole narrative of following. We are leaders. We have to keep that in our spirit. We have to know that we are leaders, and in any area, not just, speaking. We can be leaders in many areas of our lives. You hear me talk about this a lot. We have to know we are a leader within, in everything, So, like I said, And you could, and just look abroad. I don't have to, we don't, I mean, we do have to research and, and know our knowledge and have facts and don't just be babbling. But brothers and sisters, social media is our true example. Just take a look around. A lot of evil entities, and I'm talking to high places, could be celebs, whatever, just take a look around. They're beginning to fight amongst themselves. Now those that are self-aware, those that has exposed that truth, now we can step back and focus on our lives. A lot of us, and I'm telling you, it's brothers and sisters that's been exposing the truth, been doing it for years. It's just that some are not listening. So, but now I think those are, because especially now that we have social media, you don't have no choice. I heard a brother say this, another great content creator that I listen to a lot, but another content creator say, a brother that I cherish and listen to, and he said it. He just take a look around. You can't help but see it. They throw it in your face, but you have to learn to be analytical. You have to break things down, and don't be led by our emotions. We're always going to get emotions because we're human, but we teach ourselves how to regulate them, how to pay attention to them. Don't be led by them. We be logic, and we look at the things that's in social media, because like I said, it's on our timelines. The moment we get on, even when we're not on, we'll see it across our phone. Can't help but see it. But put yourself on the outside of it. Something I heard from a great teacher, and I don't like to say people's names out of respect, but this brother, he was one of the first brothers I began to listen to on this walk. And his first name begins with Professor, and I'll leave it at that. And one thing I took from this brother that always stuck with my spirit, and I'm talking about almost 15 years back, brothers and sisters, this is still in my spirit. And there's a lot of other brothers and sisters that have learned from, and I still got things that, vital things that they said that's still in my spirit, because that's what one is supposed to do, brothers and sisters. My soldier at salute. Take what we hear from our teachers, or something we hear from something that's real, keep it in our spirit bank. And you never know when it'll come back up. Like I said a few minutes ago, I made this prediction. You are literally, when you're connected to that higher force, and trust me, it's a lot of us out here like this. When you're connected righteously and you real to the pit of your soul, to that higher force, you will see things that will wow you. That's just a given. So, and the prediction I made, like I said, a lot of entities that have been evil over the years, living high on the hog, don't matter who it is, brother or sister, thing, person, place, anything that's been evil, toxic, whether it's been Hollywood, fame, I don't give a damn. They're beginning to fight amongst themselves. And to me, it's funny, because I'm not surprised. A lot of things that I hear about evil entities, those in entertainment, TV, Hollywood, whatever, that's been corrupt for years, and things are starting to come down and happen, I'm not surprised. I always say to myself, and I'm sure a lot of other brothers and sisters that has been on this walk forever think the same way. And all I gotta say is, who's next? And what's funny to me, you see some of these celebs, they're battling and going back and forth and talking about each other. And I gotta keep it real. To me, if you have bumped shoulders with the devil, and you've been doing it for a long time, and you're aware of your evil actions and those in your circle that have been committing evil acts with you, and I'm telling you, it's gonna come down. Some individuals have no idea. They have no idea how powerful the higher force really is. The devil really is a small part. The devil only depends on the individual. Because if you think about it, the devil really has no power. Because if the devil did have power, why does it need individuals to work through? So to me, if you letting the devil use you, and forgive my French, you a weak motherfucker. Real shit. You're a weak ass motherfucker. Why are you here? You know what I'm saying? What? To taint the world? To pass off toxicities as those that, that you are connected to, and you ruin everybody's life that you come across? It's gonna come. And And I actually, like I said, let me go back to when I said something that a brother taught me. My bad. I meant to finish it. The first brother I ever heard speak, like I said a minute ago. His first name is Professor. I leave it at that. But it's many great brothers and sisters that I have learned from, because one has to always keep that righteous family spirit within. It would take you so many places in your life and in your mind and in your mental, and it keeps you from being selfish. So what I learned from this brother is, when we look at things, we look in them and not at it. Even if we watch TV, look in it. Don't just look at it. Don't always just look for entertainment. Look to learn something. Look to get something out of what we're looking into and get a different perspective about it. And we'll learn so much more about people, places, and things that way. So that's something that I learned from that brother. And which leads me to, it's a quote I seen in the movie, actually. And it was in the movie, but it's actually kind of true. I won't name the movie it's from, but it's a quote in there that kind of stuck with me. And it goes like this. Like I said, like my title, when you ignore, when you don't give too much energy to an evil entity, they will begin to implode. So, and what is implode? Something that explodes, kind of like a supernova, but within. And I did a podcast on supernova. If you want, I'll put it in my end screen. You can check that out, because that's what we have out here. A lot of righteous brothers and sisters are supernovas, and we exploding. But the opposite of that is imploding. And that's what a lot of evil entities, especially in high status, are doing. They're fighting amongst themselves. So get your popcorn, brothers and sisters, and just sit back and watch that evil empire that those have been building over the years begin to crumble. Because that's what it's doing, it's crumbling. And what I wanted to say, a quote that I had run across that stuck with me. And those that block or interfere or try to taint the path of righteousness, thou shalt be no mercy. In other words, if you're putting out toxic, evil energy, then there's no mercy when it comes back for you, especially if you're aware and you know what you're doing and you had opportunities to get out of it and you chose not to. Thou shalt have no mercy. That's how the divine works. And that's not a punishment. Because remember, folks, and I've learned this from a great teacher, a sister, the great higher force doesn't punish us, because we all have free will, right? All of us, especially if you're melanated, we all have divine abilities. Just check the history. We all have abilities. Some abilities that it's so much stuff that our ancestors did, a lot of us still don't know about. And I'm including myself too. So there shall be no mercy. That's why when things happen to an evil entity, I'm talking about a person that's rotten to the core. I mean, just fucking ain't no good. That kind of individual, and is aware and is proud of being evil. If you're like that, thou shalt be no mercy. So don't cry when the time comes. So that's why it's funny to me. LOL. It's funny to me to see celebs fight against each other and say, like, if you say, okay, I'm making an example. Okay, you got one celeb that's talking about this celeb and what that celeb's doing. Okay, what they don't realize, it's a number on all their backs. You're going to be next. If you bumping shoulders with the devil, you're going to be next. I don't care how you try to stand with the real like-minded brothers and sisters. I'm talking about the real ones that's outside of the so-called matrix. You try to stand with us and then try to act like you're for this walk and this revolution. That divine is going to reveal that fake shit. Because whatever you got going on inside, and this rule applies to everybody. I don't give a fuck what you got on the inside or what you claim or what you look like you have on the outside. Money, material status, fame. That shit don't mean nothing. If you got evil and malice within, that universe is going to draw it out. And guess what? Once that universe draws it out, the higher force no longer has a responsibility to what happens. Because guess what? That's when the devil moves right on in. Because remember, you turned your back on the divine. You turned your back on that higher force. So you expect that higher force to come back and help you? No, thou shalt be no mercy. Those who block the path of righteousness or try to taint the path of righteousness, thou shalt be no mercy. None. You know, we got people that's hurting out here. You know, this life is not a fucking game. You know, that's why I don't like when they call hip hop the game. To me, and those that generally care about the hip hop culture, it's not a fucking game to us. It's a game to those who don't give a shit about it. So that's why you'll never hear me say that, because hip hop is an art form. Hip hop is a way of life. Hip hop is an expression of oneself. And hip hop also means that a lot of us don't talk about enough, just in my opinion. Okay, HIP, high infinite power. HOP, helping our people. That's what hip hop means, along with a lot of other elements that goes into hip hop. But the word itself, the two words, hip and hop, high infinite power, helping our people. And this is what helps me and keeps me putting the right things in my music when I do music, you know, because I do music for the love of it, the joy of it, to express oneself. And it's also a great gift from that great divine, because the divine doesn't give us gifts to control anyone, to take over anyone, to undermine anyone, to do anyone dirty. Is to share and give joy and inspiration into others, to motivate them to do great things in their lives. That's what hip hop and doing music is supposed to be about, an expression, and talking about things that's going on maybe in the artist's life and in life in general, and sending good vibes to the listeners. That's what's important too. And that's why I say, when we ignore and we are unbothered by all this bullshit that's being put out here, and evil entities that's talking about each other and going back and fighting, like I say, folks, get your popcorn, because evil entities' time is up. The time is running out. I told you, it is now divine's time. The divine has stepped in and taken over, as well as Mother Nature and that great power of the universe. I like to say all three because it's powerful, because we have to be powerful, because these entities out here they're getting desperate. And what do most people do when they're desperate? What, you know, just think of like I'll use myself an example. I think of things that I did when I was desperate. So what does one do when they're desperate? They're going to pull out all stops and everything to not reveal their true inner selves, especially if they've been toxic or evil. But you're not going to get away from that. It's still going to come out. And a lot of individuals, their stuff already is out there. And no matter how they try to hide it, because of social media, you know, you can't get away from it. That's why I say, in these times, you better live right. And you can say it's corny, you can say it whatever. But what is the opposite of righteous? Would you rather want to be a righteous brothers and sisters with a clean conscience? Or would you want to be, you know, somebody that's in the limelight, and it don't matter who it is, we brother or sister, as a superstar and looking all good in front of the camera and pictures flashing and on the carpet and all these wonderful things, but inside you evil as fuck? You know, that ain't no fucking way to live. And I don't care who you are. Once you by yourself, them demons are going to attack you. They're going to aggravate you. They're going to tell you ain't shit. You out here faking, got all this money. You didn't ruin people's lives, because that's what the devil does. You know, that's what's funny about individuals that bump shoulders with the devil. The devil don't give a fuck about you. The devil want to use you. And when it's done, when that force is done with you, on to the next one. So for the individuals that's in high places, you better get your shit together. This ain't no game. You know, the higher force is not playing. It's not nothing soft. So, and a lot of us have experienced this. So we know that higher force don't play. That's why a lot of us are reaching and teaching and living a good life, because we know that great divine doesn't play. Those who block the path or try to block the path of righteousness, thou shalt be no mercy, you know, and those that are righteous will be protected. And I know there are things out there that make you think They make it seem that we won't be brothers and sisters, but we will. And I have that confidence in our divine because I see it all the time. I really do. We are protected, whether we know it or not. And when the time comes for us to move and do what we have to do, that great divine will put it in our spirit, just like it always has, and it always will. So, while celebs are sitting back arguing, fighting, talking about this celeb doing what this celeb doing, your number's up too. You know, while y'all sitting back making fun of, you know, or whatever, looking at another individual or having opinions or, you know, or mocking or whatever, your time is up too. But one thing I will say, the celebs that are speaking up and are speaking truth, it takes balls. Because we, you know, especially if you're empathic, you have to put yourself, not like you want to be them, but put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself, think of yourself if you was in there with that beast and you're speaking truth. It takes a lot of balls and it takes a lot of courage to do that. So I'm going to stop right there, you know. So, and an individual that do take the bulls by the horn and finally just tired of the bullshit and it is in the industry and speaking up, that divine will stay with you, is with you. Stick with it. I don't care what people say on the outside. Of course, that's what people gonna do. People love you 1 minute and they hate you the next. So that's why you just had to be true and be you through anything and everything. So, and especially if you're, I'm talking about if you're a celeb and you know you're in fame, that shit. They love you one moment and then they hate you the next. So that's why you just have to stay true to oneself through all things. So people can mock those that are speaking the truth in the industry and talk about them and this, that, and the third. What are you doing? You know, why aren't you stepping up and fighting with this brother that's speaking the truth? You know, so, you know, and I know it's been a long time. It probably could have been and said something, but you know, it's just certain things. It's like straws that break the camel's back. It's like you get to a certain point when you say, fuck this. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of carrying this shit around. And that's what happens, you know. And sometimes it just take a person a long time to, you know, finally get tired of shit. So, like I said, when we ignore and are unbothered by these evil entities out here that is fucking ridiculous, you know, you should have been doing right to begin with. You should have never just wanted the bag to begin with. Because a lot of individuals that do bump shoulders with the devil, they know what's to come before they get into that shit, you know. So, like I said, when we ignore, turn our back on the evil entities of the world, they will begin to implode. It's inevitable. So that's my thought. So my righteous brothers and sisters out there, salute, stay strong, stay firm, stay steadfast. The great divine always protect the righteous. Care what nobody say. That's my thought. So I give honor to your family, my children, their mothers, and thank those that came in to another EBX discussion. Salute. And I give honor and thank those brothers and sisters all over the world. May you have the ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. One.